on, Rugby League Nation? It's Ali here with the very first episode of Talking Rugby League with Ali. Now, today's podcast is going to be about myself talking and discussing about the latest topics that I'll be talking about, and also the segments that are NRL Supercoach. We've got rumours, fan questions answered, and also just topics that have NRL news that have just been broken in the recent week or so. It's just today only me talking, but hopefully throughout 2017 I'm gonna also have another two kind of podcast hosts as well that are going to be discussing the segments with me, and also they'll be uploading their very own podcasts talking about their own topics, all the topics that have been and issues that have been broken and used throughout that period of when they uploaded. Today I'm just going to give you an idea of how the podcast is going to work, and just basically what you could expect in every single podcast. So today's podcast is going to be broken down into 4 different segments. So the first segment is going to be just purely NRL rumours. The second one will be about NRL Supercoach. The third one's going to be about just the latest NRL news that have been broken, and the fourth one is going to be about fan questions just answered. So all the questions that you guys wrote me on my page, Ali's latest NRL rumours. If you haven't liked it, please do on Facebook. So I'm going to be answering as many questions as I can from that post. There's a heap. I think there's about 40 or 50 questions. So I'm going to briefly answer as many as I can. And in the description box, as you can see in the post, so as you can see in the description, I have each segment and the time frame next to each segment. So if you're only after NRL Rumours, it will be the first segment. If you're only after NRL Supercoach, it will be the second, and then the third and fourth is going to be just my opinions on the NRL news, and also the fan questions is going to be the fourth segment. Now, so like I said, today is going to be only by myself, but hopefully throughout this year I am going to get another 2 blokes on board who are also going to be uploading some podcasts, and also we're going to get together and also make podcasts as well about whether it's Supercoach or just rumours, or just our opinions on NRL topics. And just last thing as well, in the comments box, hopefully you guys enjoy it, but we need as much feedback possible. Also like, comment and share the podcast. It's obviously uploaded on our YouTube account, hence why when you clicked on it, it went into our YouTube account. Subscribe to our YouTube account as well, so it's also called Talking Rugby League. And hopefully, just like my page, Ali's latest NRL rumours and Talking League on Facebook, hopefully this YouTube page will also, our channel will also keep growing. So I'm gonna get straight into it. And the first segment is going to be about the latest NRL rumours that are that have been broken, or the latest NRL rumours that have been going around online, and just the first rumour. I'm just putting it up. Sorry, the first NRL rumour is about just recently, just yesterday I think it was, the West Tigers. They announced that one of their players will be leaving the club as a result of salary cap dramas. That player is Carl Lovett. Now, it is obviously in the pre-season, and he's just left the Tigers because of salary cap dramas, because they're obviously still paying for Robbie Farah, and they did recruit a couple of players for 2017, and also they've got a couple of big name players coming off contract at the end of 2017. But the latest I've heard on this Carl Lovett topic is he's the best chance he's got for to find a club is in the English Super League, so it's not in the NRL. And there are 3 clubs interested in the second rower. So Kyle love it. The 3 clubs that I am hearing are favourites or um, are interested in signing him: Salford Red Devils, Huddersfield Giants, and also St Helens. Now, the only reason why I'm talking about this is because there are a lot of English fans on my page, and I always get asked, what's the latest English Super League rumours. So, he's a young second row, well, with a big future, so much potential. So I think there are one of those 3 clubs will obviously get him, but at this point I don't know who's favourite to get him. All I know is those 3 clubs are interested. So Salford Red Devils, Huddersfield Giants, and also St Helens. Now, the second NRL rumour that has recently popped up is David Shillington, so from the Gold Coast Titans. Last year, I think it was last year, he was rumoured to leave to go to the English Super League as well, and it's popped up again same time last year. Hall KR apparently are interested in signing him for this up and coming 2017 season. So keep that in mind with David Chillington leaving the Gold Coast Titans, because there are another 2 players that I will talk about very shortly that may join the Gold Coast Titans. So I think they kind of in with out with the old, in with the new. So I think that's what they're just trying to relieve some cap pressure, and I think you might see David Chillington leave the club very shortly. And in saying that, there are 2 players that have been rumoured to join the Gold Coast Titans in the past couple of weeks. So the first one is Dal Copley from the Sydney Roosters, and the second one is Daniel Vito from Union. So he and Dale Copley. So I'm not sure if they're both joining, but the latest I've heard is Vito's gonna sign for 2 years, and I already posted that on my page. And Dale Copley as well. Apparently he was going to join. Now, what I have heard is by the end of next week there should be another signing for the Gold Coast Titans. Now, I'm not sure if that's Dale Copley or Vito, but I would say it's Dale Copley. There's been so much talk about him in a couple of months, not even a couple of weeks, couple of months, about him joining the Gold Coast Titans for season 2017 and onwards. The third rumor, which has just been out, just couple in the last 48 hours, with Ben Hunt. So we all know Ben Hunt is not joining the Penrith Panthers because they denied it, and he apparently rejected their offer. What I can say is, for Ben Hunt, there's only 2 clubs it's down to. It's between 2 clubs. Obviously his own club, the Brisbane Broncos, and the second club's the Dragons. So if he was to leave the Brisbane Broncos, he's definitely gone to the Dragons. This is for 2018, not 2017. So keep that in mind. Dragons or Broncos? At the moment, in my opinion, it is the Dragons. Now, he wants 850,000 a season. Okay, I wouldn't pay him that much. Lucky, I'm a Penrith fan. Lucky he isn't joining our club, because we've got great youngsters with Matta's future. The Dragons want to offer him $1 million a season. Now, it might be true, it might not be incorrect, but that's what I've heard, that's what I've read, and that's what I've been told. It's $1 million a season. It might be 600,000 with third-party deals, but we don't know that. At the moment, we know that based on media talk, it's $1 million a season from the Dragons. He's after 850,000, so the Dragons are offering him well above what he actually is interested in. So there's a massive chance he will leave to join the Dragons, and I don't know if him and Widdop will turn out to be, a great partnership, because the issue with the Dragons is their forward pack. But I think this season 2017 their forward pack is pretty strong. So it's gonna come down to just, you know, if they can complement each other. That's what it's gonna come down to. I think Ben Hunt, he's had up and down season, and Wayne Bennett's lost. If Wayne Bennett has lost favoritism in him, then Mary McGregor, I don't know what he's thinking, but I wouldn't be paying him $1 million a season when you've got a couple of youngsters that are pretty good. I saw the Illawarra Cutters a couple of games for them in the New South Wales Cup, and also in the under 20s. I do have a couple of youngsters in the half that are pretty good. Noah, Sean Noah, I think his name is. He's a great player. He's a great player. He controls the game as well. All he probably needs is an opportunity, and whether that's going to be at the Dragons or not, so we have to wait and see. Now, if this was to happen, if Hunt left the Broncos, their number one target then becomes Tyron Roberts from the Gold Coast Titans, and it's a domino effect because the Gold Coast Titans, they have Kane Elgee, Ash Taylor, and now Tyron Roberts. So if Ben Hunt leaves Brisbane Broncos, Wayne Bennett's going to go for Tyron Roberts, who was also with him at the Newcastle Knights, and he also was the one that showed faith in him. So stay tuned for that. Now, the last rumour I'm going to be talking about is a massive rumour, and that's regarding a West Tigers player joining a Sydney club. Now, James Tedesco from the West Tigers. Now, we know that James Tedesco is off contract, Mitchell Moses is off contract, Luke Brooks is off contract, Aaron Woods is off contract, David Noah for Lumours also off contract. I think Sawasa Su as well. So there's a lot of players off contract for the West Tigers at the end of season 2017. Now, what I've been told is James Tedesco is good as gone. He apparently has already signed with the Sydney Roosters for 2018 and onwards. 2018 and onwards, and I've also been given the word that the halves will be staying put at the Tigers. So it's a massive get for the Sydney Roosters, who have signed Michael Gordon for one season. So that kind of gives you an indication that they're going for someone for 2018. And I know they have Latrell Mitchell, but he's a utility as well. He can change positions. He's not only a fullback like Tedesco is. So I think I haven't actually seen it myself. I haven't read anything myself, but I have been told this. So I'm not too sure what if it's confirmed or not, but it's a rumor, and it's a massive rumor. And if it's true, it will cause West Tigers fans to go into meltdown, because James Tedesco was the fullback last year of the year. He really stood out and played some real special footy, and for them to lose him after just a couple of seasons. Let's not forget he did sign with the Raiders a couple of years back, but he backflipped. So you can, if you throw big money at these young players, there's a possibility that you're going to get them, and that's exactly what the Roosters are going to do. And at this moment, it looks like they've already done it based on what I've been told. Now, that's the first segment done, which is the NRL Rumours, and I'm going to quickly just go over it just quickly. So we spoke about Cole Lovett. He's got interest from Salford Red Devils, Huddersfield Giants, and St Helens from the English Super League. David Shillington from the Gold Coast Titans, possibly leaving to the English Super League and joining Hawkeya for the 2017 season. The Gold Coast Titans signing Dale Copley and/or Daniel Vito for season 2017, and I am hearing next week we should get a clearer indication of what is going to happen with those two players and the Gold Coast Titans. The fourth rumor we spoke about was Ben Hunt either leaving the Broncos or staying put at the Broncos, and if he was to leave, he would go to the Dragons, and if that does happen, the Broncos will go for Tyron Roberts. And the last rumour that we spoke about was James Tedesco leaving the West Tigers and joining the Sydney Roosters from 2018 and onwards, and that concludes the first segment of the NRL Rumours for this episode. But like I said, with the more episodes we're going to get, the more we're going to talk about these topics and these rumors that are going around, because certainly I'm always going to provide updates on my page as well, so keep following my page, and hopefully we'll get a clearer indication, hopefully in the very near future, of what happens with these NRL rumors. Now that's the first segment done. In a couple of seconds I'll be starting the second segment, and the second segment will be the 2017 NRL Supercoach Top 5 must buy in my opinion. Alright, so the second segment of this Talking Rugby League with Ali is going to be the 2017 NRL Supercoach Top 5 must buy in my opinion. So the top 5 that I have put out, it's not all from one position, so it's good for you, and some of them are affordable players. So the very first player in my opinion that is a must buy, and I'm going to definitely have him in my team. That player is Dean Farre from the Penrith Panthers. Now the only reason why I've got Dean Farre in my team, I will have him in my team, is he's only 143,000 and 143 and 600, so about 144k. Now he's a rep center and he is pretty cheap. If he starts, that is going to be a must get. If he starts, if he doesn't, then you can dismiss this segment. Sorry, just this selection, because he's a try scorer, he's defensively good, he can assist, and he averages about 50-60 prior to the 2016 season, which he obviously had an injury. If he starts and he doesn't get injured, if he's not injury prone for 2017, and if in fact has a starting position, then he is going to be a must-have in your team, because he obviously also doesn't play Origin, so that's a massive tick as well. So get him in your team. In 2016 he started 2016 at 313. Now he's only 143, so it's a massive selection. It's a great selection because it helps boost your positions in another it helps boost with money. Like, you can put more money towards another player in another position, if you want to do 2 good hookers, or 2 good halfbacks, or 5'8", or 2 fullbacks. It helps with that. Second must have is obviously the most important and most expensive player in Supercoach, and that's obviously Cameron Smith. It's pretty much self-explanatory. He averages about 70-80 each season, and he is going to play Origin obviously, but he's worth it. I mean, he can score tries, he can assist, he converts, he does everything. So, and he obviously tackles 30-40 tackles a game, so get him in your side. Another player, and he just joined the Gold Coast Titans last season, is none other than the Hayne Plain, only at $244,700. He plays 5'8" and fullback. Now he's got a whole preseason in him right now. He could average 70-80 this season. He did. I know he only came in 2016. He didn't have the best comeback, but let's be honest, he came back, towards the end, and um, you can't judge him on that. Look at it in an entire frame of when he started playing to this point, and history tells us that he's going to be a great um, player. And if you've got a player that plays fullback 5'8" and he's a known rep player and he's only 244,000, then you got to go for him. You really do. And let's be honest, the Gold Coast Titans, they've got a great team for 2017, so they've got a strong backline as well, so keep that in mind as well. He will play Origin, in my opinion, so that might be a downer at that time. But he's he's there's another must-have in my opinion. So put his name down as well on your paper. Now, the third and fourth players that you should have, in my opinion. The first one's from Manly, so Tom Trbojevic. He plays fullback, centre, and he's going to play a massive part in the Manly Seagulls quest for finals footy in 2017. Last year he played injured and he averaged about 60 to 65, so that's a massive achievement. So let's just imagine what he could do, fit and healthy. If he plays fullback, it's going to be great for Supercoach. If he plays center, maybe not, but it's good that you could choose him at both. So put his name down. Last but not least is Andrew Fafita at 400, almost 82,000. He averages about 65-70. He will play Origin, but if he doesn't, he could help cover Origin, if that makes sense, because they'll be playing. The Sharks will be playing during that Origin period, round 12 and 15. So put his name down. He can score tries. Points per minute, I think, is about 1.2 or something like that. So you can just times that by the minutes he plays, and that's how much points you're looking at. Basically each game. So it's a short one. This was a short segment about NRL Supercoach. Now I am going to always have a segment on NRL Supercoach, and it's not always obviously going to be the top 5 must buy, in my opinion. It's going to be different as the season goes on. I'm going to tell you who to buy each round, who to not to buy, who to sell, and just who to put as your captain and vice captain, etc. So this is just, like I said, it's episode 1, just to give you an indication of what you should expect and how this podcast will be set up. That's this. I'm just trying to think if I should talk about NRL Supercoach. If there's anything else that I've missed, I haven't missed that. Just put your teams in, and also yes, that's right. So when I do make my leagues, I will be posting them on my page, Ali's latest NRL Rumours, and also on my Facebook group, so Talking League. So join that if you haven't, because last year I had all my leagues full, so get in first, and hopefully there's going to be some great banter and great battles going on. That's segment 2 done. Segment 3 is going to be just my opinion on the latest NRL breaking news, and I'll get back to you in segment 3. Alright, so segment 3, NRL latest news. So this is going to be just a brief. I have two different topics that I'm going to be talking about. So the first one's about Samurai Radra and the Parramatta Eels, and the second one's about Jackson Hastings from now Manly. The only reason why I picked them two topics is because I felt that there was a lot of backlash on these two players. There's a lot of backlash and a lot of talk on these these two players. So the first one, Samurai Rada, so he's left. We all know that he's gone rugby union with Toulon. He's gone for a year from 2018, so he'll be done playing French rugby in 2000 comes 2019. Now, my opinion is it's about time they'd done something, they resolved something. It was going back and forth from the player denying his interest in playing overseas, from the manager saying there's no contract, no negotiations with overseas French rugby, with the paramedic he was saying he's staying at the club. He is staying for 2017, and it's great because he's a fan favorite, he's a gun player, but the only thing that worries me is the actual fans themselves. I don't know if they're going to support him throughout this season based on what he's actually done, or what he's allegedly done throughout 2016 with obviously his partner, and just him walking out of the club and going overseas a couple of times, and apparently negotiating deals with French rugby. So my opinion is get rid of him right now. That's my opinion. Release him right now. He's been wanting to go for a long time to French rugby. Let him go. There's another player. I mean, when one player leaves, another player just comes up. We've seen it with the Paramedials. Jared Hayne left, who everybody thought there's going to be no fan favourite. Samurai Radra came. Now he's left, and one player that just pops up into my mind is Bevan French. He's a massive player. So much potential. He's a great player on and off the field, and the fans love him. So give him that shot, holding that status, and I think that he's not going to disappoint anyone. I'm not saying he's not going to have a great season this year. What I'm saying is he might kind of overshadow his season this year. So I think just let him go, use the money elsewhere, or pay him out with whatever amount he wants, and look to the future and invest into the youth if they don't have any depth to cover his spot. Now, with Manly, with Jackson Hastings, so they've signed him from the Sydney Roosters on a 2-year deal. He is a good signing in my opinion, but he's playing hooker. Now, he has played hooker before, but I know for a fact that Trent Barrett and Des Hasler, they're two similar coaches with two similar styles in hooker. They don't like that attacking hooker, and if he's not going to give Jackson Hastings that freedom to attack and run the ball from dummy half like Shane Flanagan does, with Mark Greatness, like Cameron Smith, and with the Melbourne Storm, and Robbie Farrow with the West Tigers when he used to play for them. He's not going to be. I think he's just going to turn out to be a flop. So we saw that this year with a couple of hookers that they had, and it didn't turn out to be well for them. They've got Matt Ballon as well, Apaya Coruscant. Sorry, they don't have Matt Ballon. No, Matt Ballon's gone to the Tigers. They do have Apaya Coruscant, but he's going to change up his style. It's going to come down to the coach and not Jackson Hastings. I think that what's going to happen is he's going to keep his style of play, the style of coaching, Trent Barrett, and it's going to impact Jackson Hastings' performance, and he's going to cop backlash from the fans. So I think just be patient, Manly fans, and hopefully something does change with the attacking structure of Manly, because they desperately need a change, and Blake Green coming in might also have that effect on their attacking structure. So just wait it out a bit, and I don't know if you're going to expect any improvements in 2017. In my opinion, you're not, but good luck, and hopefully Jackson Hastings does well, because I can see a lot of potential in him. I know there's been a lot of talk about him not being a great person off the field or on the field and stuff like that, but I haven't seen that in any interviews or anything. I've seen his potential on the field, and I think that if he's being guided right, he would definitely have a good impact for the Manly Sea Eagles club. So that's my opinion on these two topics. I'm gonna talk about fan questions next, and we'll wrap it up after that in segment 5. Alright, so segment 5 is fan questions answered. So every Friday I'm going to have a post on my page, so Ali's latest NRL Rumours, and that post is going to be about just questions fans want answered, and it's going to be put up about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock every Friday night. And obviously I'm going to answer as many questions possible, and I am going to do my best to ensure it's always in the podcast, and all questions are answered with the latest that I have heard. Okay, so last night I think I had about 45 questions. I'm gonna go through them briefly now. Because the only reason why I say briefly is because I think a lot of them are gonna be kind of the same questions or similar questions. So I think that if I don't answer your question, it's most likely because I've answered it from another person prior to your question. It's just that's why it's just first in, first served, and that's what I'm gonna do. So the first question I'm obviously gonna answer. If I've already answered the similar question and you've commented, then I'm just gonna skip it and go to the next question, and hopefully we could go from there. So that's why just keep in mind Friday night, just stick on my page. It's about 7:30. From 7:30, as soon as I put up the post, just comment your question, and on that Saturday podcast, which the podcast will be uploaded the day or the night after, so you'll be hearing your questions answered. And obviously, if you're only wanting to listen to the podcast from the questions being answered, just skip to the questions segment, which you'll be able to know what time that starts with in the description. So I'm going to go through the questions. So the first question is from Larry Williams. It's regarding James Seguiaro to the Sharks. That's a done deal. I'm not sure when it's going to be announced, but just keep that in mind that it's a done deal. Next week possibly it will be announced. The latest I have heard is they've accepted his transfer fee, and the Ben Barber money is getting used towards James Seguiaro, so it kind of has worked out well for them in an unfortunate situation with obviously Ben Barber doing what he did. And the second part to Larry Williams' question is regarding Kieran Foran to the New Zealand Warriors. Now, Kieran Foran to the New Zealand Warriors. He's obviously training at the moment. It's a done deal. He's staying put at the New Zealand Warriors. There's a lot of hiccups apparently with his contract signing, but I do think he'll be there in 2017. Whether he starts round 1, round 5, I don't see an issue towards why they wouldn't allow him to start round 1. He's already training with the club, so keep that in mind. So it's a done deal, and I think he will be starting come round 1. So that's done. Robert is asking Ben Teo to the Brisbane Broncos. Yeah, there was talk about the Brisbane Broncos and the Brisbane Broncos being interested in Ben Teo. I did hear that a couple of months ago that he was joining the Broncos. but I don't know, it has quieted down, and I haven't heard any latest updates on tier to the Broncos because this Ben Hunt scenario has just overshadowed everything. Um, I don't know if he will come back towards 2017, but at this moment he's staying put in Union, and he won't be joining the Brisbane Broncos. Just keep in mind though, my page is a rumours page. A lot of people always tell me, you got it wrong and stuff like that. The whole point of my page is to ensure that I provide fans with the latest NRL rumours. Obviously when signing happen I'll also post that, and when major news is breaking I'll also post that, but the majority of my page is just NRL rumours, so just updating you with the latest rumours that's going around. And at the point when I posted Ben Teo set to sign with the Brisbane Broncos, I heard that, and I got told that personally that he was going to sign with them. So that at this moment was obviously wrong, but who knows, it might happen in the very near future. Now, Nathan's asking about James Graham. Okay, so it's an interesting one. There was a lot of talk for 2017 that he was going to join Manly, but I denied it on my page. I posted that it wasn't going to happen, and it still isn't going to happen in 2018. So you can get rid of that rumor. And the only reason why I say that is because Manly don't even know their future from 2017, and so do the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs don't even know, because Trent Barrett's under pressure, Jess Hasler's under pressure. Manly have players off contract, Bulldogs have players off contract. Josh Reynolds is also off contract from the Bulldogs at the end of this year, so both futures are under clouds from coaches to players. So that, in my opinion, 2017 is the massive year for both the Bulldogs and the Manly Seagulls, regarding the coaches, the board, and also the players themselves, because they both have players off contract, they both have coaches under pressure, and there's coaches lining up to replace them as well. So stay tuned. But James Graham to Manly 2018, it's not happening. David Holland is asking about Ben Hunt to go into the Melbourne Storm. I have not even heard of that one. The latest that I have heard about Melbourne is they're gonna have their usual Cooper Cronk, and also Cooper Cronk at 7, obviously Cameron Smith at 9, and what's his name, Cameron Munster is going to be playing 6, and Billy Slater, he'll be back at 1. So don't put that in, I'm not sure where you got that rumor from, but I haven't heard that before, and I still won't, I still haven't thought about Ben Hunt. Like I said in the podcast, if Ben Hunt wants to leave the Broncos, it's going to be for the Dragons at this point. Shark is asking about Israel Folau. There was talk about Warriors and Bulldogs being interested in him, but it's early talks, and there's nothing confirmed. I don't think he'll return to the NRL. Unfortunately, I think he'll be staying put at the with Union we're talking in the very near future, maybe from 2019, or possibly 18 to the the Warriors or the Bulldogs. But like I said, with the Bulldogs, you don't know what. If you're changing coaches, you're changing players, then you can't. There's no one to sit there and decide who they're signing for 2019 or 2018. Let's just say Des Hasler was released mid 2017. You can't possibly plan for who to sign in 2018 if you don't have a coach. And a lot of players are under pressure. So Israel Folau at the moment. What's you're asking if anything on Israel Folau. There was talk about the Warriors and Bulldogs, but I don't think any of them, nothing's gonna happen at this stage. He's staying put with rugby union. Steve Tate is asking about Cole Lovett. Is it enough to get the Tigers under the cap? Yes, it is enough. They're under the cap by 200,000. They've released a couple of players. It will be enough for them to be under the contract, under the cap, which is obviously increasing as well. Let's not forget about that. So that is, yeah, it's enough. And also they're not going to resign all the players that are off contract. So for 2018 and 19, 2018, 2019, they're going to have a couple of players leaving the club. So it's going to ease a bit of pressure off your cap, because you're still paying for Robbie Farah, and I think you're paying about 600,000-700,000 for him. There's a question on the Dragons halves. Give a man hope. You're obviously a Dragons fan. Tyler, I really don't know with the Dragons. I really don't know. Gareth Widdop, Sean Noah is Hutchison just got injured. Kurt Mann, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Now, Matt Duffy is an interesting one, but he wants to play fullback, so I don't see the Dragons doing any better than they did in 2016. So yeah, so I can't give you hope, sorry man. You just keep supporting them, because you guys are through a tough time, and that's when you're gonna support your fans the most, or your club the most, because they need you. And there's a bright future. Your fullback's just getting better. Paul Vaughan is going to be a great signing for the Dragons. Next question is from Jimmy. He's asking about Copley. Like I said in the earlier segments, to the Titans, so it'll be him or Vidup. I don't know if they can sign both. It'll be strange if they sign both. So it's gonna be either Copley or Daniel Vito. Copley, Vito, I'm not sure. I'd be going with Vito, but I don't know who you'd prefer, or who the Titans prefer. But that's who they it's either Copley or Vito. Even Copley's a good player, but I just see Vito much stronger and much more dangerous in the centre position. Joel's asking about North Sydney Bears coming back. No, there was talk about them actually taking over the Gold Coast Titans, but I don't know if they're still going to do that, because the Titans, they're a club. 2016 we were talking about they might possibly be getting bankrupt, and possibly having crowds and stuff like that. But look what happened in 2017. They got Nathan Peach, Conor Harrell, Jared Hayne. They just signed Kevin Proctor. It's a great club. The fans are going crazy. The memberships are skyrocketing. Yeah, no chance for the Bears. Sorry, mate. Steve is a regular. He's a Dragons fan. You're asking if Hazlitt is likely to be at the Dragons in 2017. Yes. Now, it's an interesting one, because I have heard that if Des Hasler was to leave the Bulldogs, it's either going to be Manly or the Dragons, and it's as simple as that. Manly or the Dragons. There was talk about him, becoming the New South Wales Blues coach or whatever. That's not going to happen. It's either Manly or the Dragons. The turmoil at the Bulldogs is 100% true. In 2018, 2018. Well, there. It's mostly that can't happen 2017. It will happen 2018. I think he won't be staying at the Bulldogs. He will be going, and it's just a matter of either to the Dragons or to Manly, depending on what happens to Trent Barrett as well. But let's not forget, there's also Ivan Cleary waiting. So if it's not Hasler, it's Cleary. But I do see Hasler taking over Manly or the Dragons in 2018. It was replacements for Semi Radradra. Now I'm not too sure if there's been talk about the Parramatta Eels being interested in anyone else from another club, but they did, remember, let's not forget, they did sign Jennings from George Jennings. Yeah, they signed Kurasami Ava. They also signed Josh Hoffman. So that's 3 players that play in the outside back. So I don't see them signing anyone else to replace Semi. They've got 3 players, unless someone comes off contract that thereafter for 2018. So it's pretty hard talking about replacements for Semi when he's going to leave at the end of 2017. So who knows, mid 2017 somebody can leave their respective club, and Eagles might turn their attention to them and sign them. But at this moment they've got Jennings, Hoffman, and they also have Ava from the Rabbitohs who they signed. We have got Junior is asking about the Warriors, and if there's any talk about them with Kieran Foran. It's going to be, like I said, foreign news. I think it'll be starting from round 1. And he was talking about Ben Matalino. I don't know, Ben Matalino, he's not I'm not sure if he's 100% out for like a long period. I think he'll be only out for like the first 2 weeks. But who do I think will take over? What's his name? He's a young player. I think it's Alberto Vete. I think his name is. I think that's his name. And also there's another Sam Lasoni. I think his name is Alberto Vete or Sam Lasoni. They're both good. They'll be replacing him for sure. It's either one of them. So that's who will be replacing Ben Matalino. But I think with Matalino he won't be missing quite a lot of games. So just be patient with the first 2 rounds. Jordan Cross is asking. He's asked a couple of questions. Jordan Cross is asking my pick to win the 2017 Premiership. I am going with the Melbourne Storm. I'm going with the Melbourne Storm. I think every year that you're gonna have people, always they'll talk them down, but Melbourne Storm will be, they'll always be up there, and I think this year they'll be great. There's a question on Sims to leave Newcastle. The Dragons were interested in him, but I'm just not too sure at the moment if they are. I think there was talk that he will leave the Dragons. He will leave the Knights. So I think the option that I heard about was him leaving the Knights, like his brother did to the Dragons. So I think the other club was the Sharks as well. So I think his sister was just signed a contract with the Sharks as well. So so they're 2 picks, and I think if he was to leave, it would be definitely to one of them. Definitely. What else is there? There's a question on Bentia, which I already answered. Glenn's asking about a breakaway league from the NRL overpayments to the club. This is still a massive issue, because there are still bosses that are not happy with what happened with John Grant. He's only staying until the end of 2017, and then he's going. But if they don't get the salary cap, because they haven't confirmed the salary cap as of for 2018, so if they're not happy there's a lot of clubs not that are going to they're going to combine together and become a powerhouse. And there's been a lot of talk about a breakaway league. It's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. It happened before, it won't happen again. It will destroy players, fans, clubs as well. So you got to think about that. So yeah, it's not going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if another major story comes out with the CEO, Todd Greenberg, or John Grant, getting under pressure as well by the NRL club bosses. What's his name? Okay, so Jeremy's asking about Jared Kennedy from Manly. Now, I'm not too sure if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to get some time. I think he will, off the bench. I think he's a utility, so it's a great player. So I do think he'll get a run, yeah. He will get a run. They just lost a couple of players as well in the forward pack, so yeah. Billy he asked the question, who's going to have a better season, Tom Trbojevic or James Roberts? Tom Trbojevic, in my opinion. How will Tony Williams go for the Sharks? That's what Matthew is asking. I think he'll go. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he'll struggle like he did at the Bulldogs. I think he'll get better. I don't see him not missing out on playing first grade as well, so he'll be playing. Billy is also asking about Caesar, if he's going to step up as a player this year. He stepped up last year and he'll step up again this year. Flex is asking about Alex McKinnon making amends with the NRL and walk away. That's just ridiculous that you even said that. I don't know if that last part, walk away, is being sarcastic or he actually meant it in the sentence, walk away. I better not answer that. Dean's asking a question about the Brisbane Broncos, Melbourne Storm, and North Queensland, if they should have more than one side, especially Brisbane. Yes, I think Brisbane. It actually is. Dylan saying it's a good question. It actually is a good question. In my opinion, Brisbane will get a second team in the near future. It'll be Central Queensland. Brisbane Bombers will be getting into their second team. Now that'll be great because that will allow Suncorp to have a guaranteed home game every single round. So if it's not the Bombers playing, it'll be the Broncos playing that round, and that will mean that there will always be a crowd of about 30,000 each round. So how good would it be having a guaranteed 30,000 crowd every single round? It will help boost the crowd average, and it will help getting more fans in Brisbane. It's obviously dominant. It's a dominant rugby league area, but it will get more people signing up. Regarding Melbourne, I don't see Melbourne having another team. I don't see Melbourne ever being a massive area for the NRL. It's dominated in the AFL, so yeah, Melbourne's one team's enough, and the Melbourne Storm are doing a lot for the NRL in Melbourne. Cameron Smith, Cooper Cron, Billy Slater are one of the most known players, sport athletes in Melbourne. So yeah, I think they pack out their stay matches at Amy. Their memberships are getting higher and higher every single season. Their success is being great recently, so they're doing wonders for the NRL in Melbourne. So I don't think there will be necessary for another team, because I just don't see another fan base from a second Melbourne team in Melbourne. And you can look at other codes, except AFL obviously, but you look at the A-League, one Melbourne team's, it's very strong, but as soon as they put out a second team, they barely get 9,000-10,000 at their games. So it's something that the NRL are aware of, and they won't go there. That's why with Brisbane, because they pack out their stadiums, because Brisbane have a lot of memberships, they know that there's depth and there's a lot of fan support for that Brisbane Broncos. So I think second Brisbane team will be great. North Queensland, no, I don't see North Queensland being that massive of an area to have a second team. It will always be a dominant NRL place. Patrick Seals, he'll be talking as well on the podcast. He's one of the hosts as well for Talking Rugby League on this podcast. He's asking who the sexiest player in the NRL is. Sexiest player in the NRL. That's actually a good question. You're making me think now. Making me think. I don't know, I can't believe I'm actually even thinking about this. But yeah, what did you say? I think, did you put up an answer? You're telling me not on Sean Johnson. Someone posted Sean Johnson, Nate Marsh, and Graham. Obviously, I've been sarcastic. I'm not too sure. Daniel Mortimer, maybe. I don't know. Daniel Mortimer. Paul's asking if the Parramatta are after another halfback or hooker this year. As far as I know, they're not. They were after Ben Hunt, but Gazzy did. He also asked that question. Ben Hunt, that's not going to happen. So forget about that. Dahlia Metal Pig, it's way too early for me to do that. My predictions, I'm going to hold off my predictions because when we get closer to the season kicking off, I'm going to have a podcast specifically for predictions for season 2017. So top 8, top 4, grand final winners, Wooden Spoon, Dally M. So I'm going to hold off on that. So that'll be on another podcast later on this month, or next month, sorry. Hayden thinks the Sharks will, he's asking, do I think the Sharks will go back to back? Strength and weaknesses. Strength is, their side hasn't changed. I mean, besides Mark Ennis leaving, they're going to get Seguiaro. Let's just say they get Seguiaro. Yes, I can definitely see them going back to back with Melbourne, being up there as well. Weaknesses is, I mean, they're just getting, their forward pack's probably getting older a bit. Paul Gallen's going to retire. Hyington, Lewis, I don't know if they have still got that in them. So yeah. Logan asking who do I think will stay between Woods, Moses, Brooks and Tedesco. He's obviously a Tigers fan. Who I think will stay? I think the two halves will stay. I think Woods will stay, Tedesco will go. Todd Carney, do any clubs want him? Todd Carney, I think he's going back to England. He'll be going back to England. Hayne back to the Eels or Sydney. Nick asked for 4 questions. So Todd Carney, there's no clubs that want him. He's gone back to English Super League. Jared Hayne back to the Eels or Sydney club. He's staying at the Titans for now. There was talk about him rejoining the Parramatta Eels, but that's not happening anytime soon. There's also he asked about if the Eels are looking to replace Semi. Like I explained earlier, it's too early to say that, and I explained that they've got George Jennings, Josh Hoffman, and they've got Ava from the Eels. Mara and Stewart to retire this year. They will retire. Felipe is asking about Dave Taylor progress. He will get the contract with the Raiders. He's progressing good. I have no idea. There's a guy asking, Justin's asking who the shortest player in the NRL is. I don't even know why I'm answering this question. I don't know, probably Adam Reynolds. Nick's also asking about Matt Strummer. He retired yesterday. I put up a post. Like I said, he's a great player. Put a lot of effort in, and it's those players that aren't recognised and aren't one of the greatest players and don't get that much media attention that we have to appreciate. So and then being role models. What else is there? Billy's asking if I think Carl Ponga will see much game time with the Cowboys this year since he's on with the Knights. I do think so, yes. I don't know, it won't be a permanent position obviously. It will kind of be used when he has to for covering injuries or origin. And Dan Sargerson from the Titans, I think we'll have a great season. Not a good season, I think we'll have a great season. I think he plays center or wing, one of them. So that's the fan questions being answered now. Thank you, I appreciate it so much. All these questions. Hopefully I answered your question, and hopefully you were impressed with the answers. Obviously, if you have any other questions during the week, hit me up with a message or comment on my post. I'll be more than happy to answer your question, and hopefully you enjoyed this 5-part segment podcast, which I'll be doing I'll be posting it every Saturday night, but every Friday night I'll be asking for you to post your fan questions. So that wraps up today's Talking Rugby League, the early podcast for episode 1 for 2017, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next week, same time. And I just need you guys to do us a massive favor: like this post, share it, comment, what you think of the podcast, feedback. If you want any ideas you have for me or us to talk about in our podcast, please do. We're more than happy to change up our podcast every week. And as the weeks go by, and when we're during the season, before the season starts, I'll be talking about our predictions in one episode. During the week, I'll be talking about the round leading up. I'll be talking about team previews, any injuries for that round, my predictions, and my tips and Supercoach as well. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this very first episode. There's going to be many more to come, and please keep supporting this page, this channel, and also my page, Ali's latest NRL Rumours. You can see the link to that page on our channel under links, and you also get the links of the other hosts as well on this channel. So thank you for all your support, appreciate it, and peace out. Thank you.